So welcome to Gravity Sketch 1.1. I'm going to walk you through some of the new features in Gravity Sketch. The first thing you'll notice is we've put some icons on the controllers here just to help you get a bit more familiar with the controller layout. The next thing we'll be looking at some of the tools. So we open up the tools panel here, pull that off. For the most part, the tools are relatively the same. We've done some optimization so that you can create longer strokes and have a smoother experience. One of the biggest improvements is here on our curved surface tool in the manipulation. So in curved surface tool, if you switch to precise, and I tend to use point input mode here, change the pitch a little bit, and potentially just a lighter color. So if you create a surface in curved surface mode, you can edit that surface using a whole variety of new editing techniques. So you have a small pop-up here on your controller. And if you toggle left and right, you can actually grab whole rows of points. So this is a completely new editing technique. And what this allows you to do is actually respect the initial width of the curve that you created when you're first manipulating. You could also switch to the long direction here and here. And you can add rows just as you would as normal. So let's do a row in this direction and a row right in the center here. Also toggle into low poly mode just as before and manipulate whole rows. So this is extremely helpful in speeding up your workflow when you're doing this manipulation of the control points themselves. So we've offered a new reference geometry as a rigged mannequin, which is completely adjustable. So the same way that you edit a sketch or pull up your control points, you can grab the mannequin and access the points to move the joints and start to do some really cool kind of positions. And then from there, you can kind of have a storyline around the idea. When you want them to come in and respect the normal size of a human being, you can just go ahead and delete those. You're going to use your scale gizmo. So by turning on the scale gizmo here, you can actually drag in content from your prefabs or your reference geometry directly into the box as you would changing layers. And that will set the object directly in the center of your sketch, but it would also set it at the exact scale. So right here, I'll grab the female mannequin and drop it into the scene. She's now come in at the exact scale that she was exported at, and this is kind of the average height of a woman is what we've put in here, and then we can edit just as normal. And she's directly on the mirror plane. However, the geometry is not mirrored, or the movement of the joints is not mirrored across the mirror plane, so everything still moves independently, each joint. You can even get in and adjust some fingers for gripping and different positions you may want to explore. We've also introduced Workspace panel. Now, Workspace panel is an extension of the flashlight. So you can pull off the flashlight into your space, and the flashlight works as normal. You can grab the flashlight and rotate the shadows. You can also stay consistent with the angle of the flashlight by grabbing the back end of the flashlight here. But the Workspace panel allows you to change through your 4 basic workspaces. So you have the dark space, the warehouse, and the HDR. But you can also jump into this custom workspace. And this here, you can change the color and the temperature of your workspace. This is helpful if you don't want the shadows and you don't want to have a lot of effects, but you just want to focus on the content. And this works really nicely with a stroke tool and potentially a different color, or a different material. So here I have kind of this more of a sketchy, strokey feel when I'm working in this environment. I can also turn on zebra stripe. So zebra stripe is interesting because if I have a material that has a shine to it, so we'll just make a curved surface here, and we'll change that property to a shiny surface. I can now understand the curvature using the zebra stripe as a reference. So this is just a helpful way to set your own environment, set your own space, and really kind of get into the creative process independently of a horizon or shadows. So I hope you enjoy the new update of Gravity Sketch 1.0, and please feel free to reach out with any comments or suggestions, as well as any questions you might have.